applying it to functional movement. So I won't hold you for too long because we'll get started flowing. But I just want you to take a moment. Today's class is just called Free Flow, and it's about noticing the changes in your body as we move. So we'll be repeating some stuff and then noticing if it feels different the second time around. So go ahead and just take your hands to your side ribs. So you can close the eyes here and just start to breathe, but I want you to use your hands as feedback for your breath. So anytime you put your hands on your body and try to poke something or try to feel a muscle engage, it's called tactile feedback. So breathe in and feel that your ribs expand laterally. That means side to side. So breathe in. Hi, Serena. Breathe out. So as you hold your hands here, maybe you even put your hands on the front and back and try to breathe front to back. And just start to notice your breath. Good. This breath is supposed to be three-dimensional. And then maintain that feeling as you slowly make your way onto your back. I'm going to take off my socks here. Okay, good. So on your back, knees bent, make sure you cannot touch your heels. And then start to notice the breath here. So locate your sacrum on the floor, which is your right above your tailbone. And take your hands to that low belly and start to draw your abdominals slightly together like they're a webbing. So all parts of your core are lightly pulling together. And then start to lift the hips 2 to 3 inches off the floor. So stay low and start to squeeze those glutes. And you can use your hands to poke your glutes to make sure they're firing. And then once you feel that they're working, you can bring the hands back to that low belly. And let's start to lower and lift the heels here. So push through all 10 of your toes to lift the heels and then lower the heels back down. And notice if you have to lower a little bit to prevent your hips from pitching towards your knees. And keep squeezing those glutes. Yeah, that looks good, Maria. Keep drawing the abdominal webbings together. Good, that looks good, Angela. And then pause, lower the heels. And then stay up in your glute bridge as you reach the hands upwards. So it's like we're holding 2 pans on our hands. And then go ahead and take the left hand across the right fingers and stretch out the right wrist. Reach the right thumb away. Feel that stretch across the forearms. We'll be adding some weight into our hands today. And we want to prepare those wrists to take on the load. Things like down dog, quadruped, planks. Go ahead and stretch out the left wrist now. And know that at any point in time, if you need to lower, please do. Reach the left thumb away. Good. And now let's interlace our fingers together. And lower your upper back, middle back, and lower back to the floor. So with this fist, where it is right now, I just want you to start to punch it upwards towards the ceiling and press your upper back into the mat without lifting that sacrum. And then bring your shoulders back down to the mat. So holding those hands together, punch that fist up towards the ceiling, pushing into that upper back, and then bring it back down. And let's do that one more time. And as you punch up, lift your hips. And then I want you to keep punching that fist upwards as you reach it up overhead. Keep fighting the urge for these ribs to go upwards. So keep pushing them down into the mat and reach that fist up overhead. You might feel a nice stretch in the side bodies, and keep that fist overhead. It doesn't have to touch the ground. Everybody's upper body is different. And then I want you to lower the upper back, middle back, and lower back to the floor. Ooh, you might feel more of a stretch. I know I do. And then go ahead and lift your hips back up. Reverse that. Good. And let's lower the upper back, middle back, and lower back to the floor. Oh, find some space. Maybe try to push the fist even further away from you. Go ahead and let's do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale. And lower that upper back, middle back, and lower back to the floor. Finding that space. Good. And then go ahead and release your fist. And then bring the hands back to the low abdominals. Hopefully you're starting to feel some more openness in that upper back. Go ahead and bring the knees over the hips, keeping them bent. And then interlace your hands behind the head. Elbows point upwards. And if for some reason, like if you have a low back injury, you're more than welcome to keep the feet on the floor so it can help keep that lower spine in a more stable position. So just keep that in mind if you have disc issues or low back pain. Take a breath in, and on your exhale, just lift your head and shoulders off of the mat. So you're drawing down through this low belly, feeling that the sacrum is still on the floor, and then leaning your head back into your hands. So if you can imagine that somebody was about to like punch you in the gut, that's kind of the hold you're trying to obtain right now. Inhale, lower the head and shoulders. Exhale, come up. Stay up. Go ahead and straighten the left leg upwards, flexing the foot. So you might feel a stretch across that calf and hamstring. And then point your right toes. So the left foot is flexed and your right toes are pointed. And then bend the left knee. Inhale, lower the head and shoulders. Exhale, come up. Go ahead and straighten the right leg, flex the right foot, point the left toes. And it's okay if your leg doesn't straighten all the way. Do what feels best for you. Go ahead, bend the right knee. Inhale, lower the head and shoulders. Adding on here, exhale, come up. Straighten the left leg, flex the left foot. And now twist a little bit to the left. So you're trying to reach that right elbow towards the left ankle. Stay off your left shoulder. And then go ahead and come back to center. Lower the head and shoulders. Bend that left knee. Exhale, come up. Straighten the right leg. Flex the right foot. Really try to push through the base of your right big toe. Sometimes when we flex the foot, you push into that outer edge. Try to push through your inner edge. Small twist to the right. Reach your left elbow towards your right ankle. Inhale, come back to center, bend the right knee, lower down. Last one, exhale, come up. Go ahead and straighten the left leg. Small twist to the left. And then as you point your right toe, maybe you extend your right leg. So left foot is flexed, right toe is pointed. And let's switch our feet. So keep them where they are, but flex the right foot and point the left toe. Good, and then come back to center. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, come up. Go ahead and straighten your right leg. Small twist towards the right. And then point the left foot and then extend the knee if that feels good. And then go ahead and point the right toe and flex the left foot. Oof. And then go ahead, come back to center, bend the knees, give yourself a hug. And then place your feet wide on the mat. So your feet face forward, not outwards. Go ahead and bring your arms open to a T, and let's gently just allow the knees to go left and right like a windshield wiper. Good, lightly just drawing down through the low belly just to keep the lumbar spine safe. Noticing where you need any extra attention. Good. And then from here, go ahead and come up onto your hands and knees for a little bit of quadruped work. So a good way to get into the core is by getting on your hands. And if you're someone who has sensitive wrists, then I challenge you to think about how strong are your shoulders, because they should be carrying the load. And if you have weak shoulders, then when you come into positions like this, a lot of your weight is going to stop going into your shoulder and it's going to go right down to the wrist. So think about your shoulder placement. So I'm in a neutral spine, and if you like to pay attention to the low back, you can always put a block on the low back to make sure that it doesn't dip. And from here, I'm going to do things called serratus puffs. And it's not cat-cow. So I want you to soften your heart downwards, feeling that the shoulder blades come together on the back, and then push back through the arms. So I'm not changing the dip in my lumbar spine at all. I'm just softening the heart downwards and then pushing it away. Softening the heart downwards and pushing it away. And then notice if you feel stuck or gunky in this area, or maybe you feel it in the chest. Try not to bend your elbows. That looks great, Angela. That looks great, Maria. Good, last one. And now let's take it into a cat-cow. So you can ditch the block. Inhale, cow pose. Feel a universal curve across your entire back. And then exhale, round up into the back and look towards your kneecaps. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, scary cat. And maybe when you come up into cat, this time you lift the knees and come into down dog. Inhale, forward, lower the knees, cow pose, heart reaches forward. Exhale, round up into the back. You can lift the knees and come into down dog. Inhale, forward, last one, cow pose. And you'll do a regular cat pose for this one. Exhale. And then let's do some lateral side bends. So left shoulder reaches towards the left hip. You kind of look over the left shoulder. And then right shoulder reaches towards the right hip. Look over the right shoulder. This is kind of like you're wagging your tail, experiencing all the movements of our spine, because it can do this. Good, and let's come down onto the elbows now. Forearms can be parallel or interlace your fingers. I have this bright sunspot on me. The perks of going into warmer months. Elbows are under the shoulders. Curl those toes under. Take a moment here. Exhale, draw in the low belly. So that feeling that we just did in our abdominals. And then lift the hips up into dolphin. Keep your knees bent. It's going to free up your fascial line in your back. So if you have a tight back or if you have tight hamstrings, bending the knees is only going to help you. And then don't let your head be on the floor and just look at your toes. Are you pushing all 10 of them into the mat? And then look at each heel, maybe to get one lower to the floor and then the other. And just kind of walk out your feet and notice how this changes any pull you feel in your back line. And your back line is your calves, hamstrings, low back, shoulders. Good. And then from here, go ahead and just rock forward and backwards on your toes. So you're shifting weight into the shoulders and then back into the feet. Keeping the knees bent. This is a lot of work, so take a break when you need it. And then go ahead and lower the knees finally. And take a moment here in child's pose. Walking your hands forward. Your thumbs can be up, and I'll challenge you here to really push into the outer edges of your forearms to encourage your elbows to lift off the floor and get that stretch in your armpits. Your forehead can be on the floor or a block. Good, and then let's come up into happy squat. So come up onto your hands. Curl your toes under and then walk your hands backwards towards your feet. Your knees are bent. Your hands can be on blocks if you want to. But I just want you to feel here your chest on your thighs. And if you can't make that connection, you can always take a pillow to fill in the space. And try to breathe into your upper back. So this is what I mean about free flow. We all have different breath. We all have different muscle structures and bone structures. So I'm just challenging you to feel something and adapt this pose to your body. And then use those glutes to come up to stand with a flat back. And then walk forward towards the front of your mat. And get water if you need it. And let's start to move. So the first things first is in this feeling it out, in this free flowing, we want our femurs to sit in our hip sockets better. So find your hip bones, go a little bit below it, and find that squishiness that might be a little bit firm. And I want you to push into it as you sit back into your hips and look down. Are your thighs parallel? Can you keep them parallel as you come up to stand? Lift that head. And then just start to repeat this pattern. So it's not quite like squats, but just a little bit. Sitting back, drawing in that low belly, and then maybe you start to slide the hands instead. So maybe you free them from the hip sockets. So these are hip hinges. And they're important with core and also just helping that low back. Good. Last one, sit back. Bring the hands all the way to the floor. Step the right foot back, lower the right knee underneath the right hip. Untuck your toes. I'm just going to put my knee on this because I'm feeling it today. And then shoulders over the hips here. And then roll the shoulders out. Roll them backwards, away from the front of your body. And as you do this, the ribs kind of move too. Yep. Keep squeezing that right glute. And then last breath in. And on your exhale, bring the hands to the floor. Step back into high plank. Lower the knees. Hold here. So this is where we kind of feel it out. Use those glutes. Feel the core draw in to support that low back. Then slowly lower to the floor. On your inhale, lift the heart just a little bit. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then exhale, engage that core to help you push up in a straight line on your knees. And then lift the hips into down dog. Slide your right foot forward. If you can't get it all the way, grab it and then pull it. Lower the left knee, shoulders over the hips. Feel this left glute engage. Roll the shoulders. If you are not familiar with LYT Yoga, this is what it is. There's a method designed by a physical therapist to get your body back in better alignment and understand any bad movement habits you might have. Last breath in. And then on your exhale, bring the hands to the floor, step forward. So still feeling like your hands are in that hip socket. And use your glutes to come on up, arms reach up. So remember that feeling we had with our fist trying to reach us upwards? Try that now, but you can have the hands apart. Take a breath in, and on your exhale, sit back, slide the hands down. Left foot steps back, lower the left knee. Maybe you keep the toes curled under. Inhale, arms reach all the way upwards. And let's just try shoulder shrugs one at a time here. So as I shrug, that's what it looks like from this side. So one shoulder reaches up higher, and then the other does. Trying to elongate these side muscles. Last one. And then on your exhale, bring both down to the floor. Step back into high plank. Lower the knees. Feel the glutes engage. And resist the urge to flop down, so slowly lower. Inhale, baby cobra, heart lifts, shoulders draw together. Even here, feel that low belly pull away from the floor. Good, and then exhale, push the ground away as you lift up and back into down dog. Slide your left foot forward, lower your right knee, keep the toes curled under. And then from here, arms reach up and really reach them away from you. And then bring them up to help you draw in these ribs. And then start to shimmy. Keeping that right glute engaged. Woo. Notice if one side feels tighter. And then on your exhale, bring the hands down. Step forward. Look at your knees. Are your thighs parallel? And then use your glutes to come up to stand and shake it out. Good. Let's go into our first flow. So starting immediately with some happy movement. At the top of your mat, you're going to step your left foot to the left just a little bit. It's like a little bit wider than hip distance. Hinge your hips, and then as you come back to center, you're pulling the left knee into your chest. So step out to the left, hip hinge, and pull the left knee up. So what this looks like from this angle. And you want to be stable on that right leg. So the side's harder for me. And I'm using my hands as tactile feedback to make sure that I don't tip in the pelvis. You don't have to do that, but I strongly encourage it. Good. Last one. Pull the left knee in. And then step it back as you lower the left hand and the left knee to the floor. Inhale, right arm opens up, twisted crescent. Feel this left glute engage and the ribs draw away from that right inner thigh. Let's do 3 arm circles backwards. So you are going in a clockwise position. 1, 2, and 3. And this time reach the right arm over the right ear, stretching out that right side body. And lift your left knee now, maybe. Good. And then from here, turn to the left side of your mat. Feet are parallel. Hands go into those hip creases and start to side lunge it out. So feeling this inward draw, you can use your hands on the ribs. And then maybe you add the challenge on of reaching your arms out to a T. Good. And if this doesn't feel good, remember, free flow. You do what you want here. And then from here, go ahead and turn back towards the front of your mat. Hands land. Lower your knees for quadruped. Let's do those cow down dogs here. So inhale, cow pose. Exhale, pick up the knees, lift up into down dog. And notice here my knees are bent. Inhale, forward, lower the knees, cow pose. Exhale, down dog. You have the option to lower the elbows for dolphin. Inhale, you push up onto the hands, lower the knees, cow pose. So as you become freer in your movement, these options become more available. Last one, inhale, cow pose, and let's all meet in down dog. Exhale, down dog. My knees are bent here. Feeling that low belly lightly draw in. Go ahead and lift the left leg to the height of the left hip. Keep a bentness to that right knee. Bend the left knee. And start to circle in the hip in that left leg. 5 times one direction, 5 times the other. Try not to bend either of your arms. And feel that low belly draw in. Last one. And then go ahead and walk the hands back towards the feet after that left foot comes down. Happy squat. Grab onto your ankles here and do little pulses. So of straightening and bending the knees. And if this is too much, your hands can be on your knees here. And you can work on it here instead. You're not forcing your legs to hyperextend. And then inhale, come all the way up. Use those glutes. And then let's march. Right knee comes up into the chest. Comes down. Left knee comes up into the chest. So as you do this, can you keep the back straight? Oh, it's hard. Good. And you're at the top of the mat. Step the right foot out to the right a little bit. Sit back in the hips. And then pull the right knee up into the chest. Step it out to the right. Pull it up. And as you do this, try not to look forward. Or I'm sorry, try not to lift the chin. So looking like this. You know, you want the head to go along with the spine. Oh. Last one. Pull the right knee up, hold. Feel this left glute working. And then step the right foot back. Lower the right hand, lower the right knee. Left arm reaches up. Lean into that right shoulder. Let's do 3 arm circles counterclockwise this time. Draw that low belly away from your inner thigh. 2 and 3. Reach the arm up overhead. And maybe lift your right knee. I'm going to keep mine down. But feel these ribs pull in. Let your right ear fall to the right shoulder. After this are the side lunges. So from here, go ahead, lift the right knee, turn to the right. Parallel your feet first, and then side lunge right and left. And as you do this, remember that you can bring your hands to a T. You can also goal post them. Or maybe your main goal here is just to make sure that your hips are going back instead of your knees going forward. Good. Turn back towards the front of your mat, towards the left foot. Hands land, knees land. You're in quadruped. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, down dog. And instead of going into cow pose now, you can inhale, shift forward into plank. Exhale, down dog with the knees bent. Inhale, use the glutes and core, plank pose. Exhale, down dog. 2 more. Use that core. Down dog. Last one forward. And down dog. Walk your left foot in a half step. Lift the right leg to the height of the right hip. Bend your right knee and circle. 5 times one way, 5 times the other. Try not to fall to the outer edge of your left bottom foot. Go the other way if you haven't already. Keep drawing in that low belly. Don't forget about it. And then go ahead and bring the right toes down. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Rest your ribs on your thighs. Feel it out. Grab opposite elbows. Let your head hang. Maybe try to shift more weight into your toes. Shift your weight backwards and find a sweet, sweet middle. And then start to activate those glutes to help you come all the way up to stand. Pulling in the left knee. Pulling in the right knee as you march towards the top of your mat. Good. Let's do sun sal A. A little bit of cardio. And I will give you the option to do a push-up if you would like to. You do not have to. You can just say, you can point and laugh at me. Inhale, arms reach forward and upwards. So notice that as I do this, my ribs don't do this. I'm keeping them in. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, step or jump back into high plank. Good, keep that head lifted. Lower the knees, or you can lower all the way, chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra or full up dog this time. Knees can be lifted, but feel that your heart is opening up. Up dog is really hard for people who have lumbar issues. Exhale, down dog, so I wouldn't recommend it. Feel that your down dog is bouncy. And from that bounce, exhale, empty all your breath out. And then step or jump towards your hands. Use your glutes, come all the way up. Exhale, come down. Here comes the push-up variation. Inhale, step or jump back into high plank. You can exhale, do one push-up, and then chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra, which is the variation I'm doing right now. Feels good for my upper back. Exhale, down dog. Good, walk your feet in a half step, bend those knees. Yeah. Maria, try to walk your feet a little bit closer to your hands. Yeah, and then lift your hips up a little bit and bend your knees. And then from here at the bottom of your exhale, step or jump towards your hands. Use your glutes to come up to stand, and you'll do one more just like that. It's not going to change. So focus on feeling your body and free flowing the way you need to. So inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Exhale. Inhale, step or jump back, high plank. Focus on where your body is. You can do a push-up here, or you can lower all the way, halfway. Inhale, baby cobra or full up dog. Exhale, engage that core to push away in one line. Down dog. Good. From here, maybe pedal your feet out. And then go ahead and lift your right leg to the height of your right hip. So the right leg lifts. And let's do a few heel lifts on the left leg. So keep the left knee bent, and you're just going to lower and lift your left heel. So shifting weight forward, shifting weight back. Yeah, that looks great. Keep a slight bentness to that left knee. And then let's step the right foot forward towards the hands and come up into crescent lunge. So right hand comes to the back of the body, left hand comes to the front. Feel this area pull together. So you notice that I'm not in a dramatic stance. I'm consolidating this core. And then from here, I'm going to swing my left leg forward. So make sure there's nothing in front of you. Maybe you might potentially kick. So as I push down into the right leg, my left leg swings forward and then it returns. So you can bring the hands to the hips, swing, and feel that as you do this, you're not like, trying to do some Olympics here. You're standing straight up, kicking that left leg and returning. Squeeze that right glute. This is all a little bit of hip flexor and a lot of bit of core. Good. Last one. It swings forward and then slowly swings behind you for warrior 3. Arms can reach back. You can keep them on your hand or your low belly for tactile feedback. Whew. And then this is the fun part. I know we've been on this right leg for a little bit. We'll do 2 elevator slides with our hands. So bring them to the right leg and then slide them down towards your ankle. Keep that left glute on and then slide your hands back up. Whew. Last one, elevator slide down. Hands come to the floor. Tuck your left leg behind the right as you turn to the right and come down to sit. So your right leg is crossed on top of your left. I'm going to turn to face you. If this is a lot in the hip area, just kick out your left leg. Don't worry about it. Right hand comes down, left arm reaches up and over. So this is where we free flow it out. You can start bending left and right towards with your own breath. So your inhales bring you up, your exhales bring you down. And just feel, is this area tight and congested? Can you let your head drop towards your ear as you go to one side? Good. Last one, which will be towards the left. You'll come back up, turn towards the front of your mat, step back into down dog. Shift forward into plank, lower all the way to the floor. From here, arms come into a goal post. So elbows are in line with those shoulders. Keep the legs on the floor. You're gonna engage that core and inhale, lift only your upper back. Try not to lift your chin so the back of your neck shouldn't have any wrinkles in it. And then exhale, lower to the floor. Inhale, lift up. Use those glutes to keep the low back happy. And lower down. You have 3 more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one, inhale, lift. Exhale, bring the elbows underneath the shoulders and push up into forearm plank. And we'll do little pelvic swivels left and right. So it looks like I'm on my toes, my hips drop to the left, my hips drop to the right. You're kind of making a rainbow arch in your hips. Whew. Good. And last but not least, bring it back to center. Walk those toes in, lift the hips, dolphin pose. Let your head hang. And then one at a time, come up onto your hands for down dog. You should feel like you're ready to go. Go ahead and lift that left leg now. Start to lower and lift that right heel. Maybe this time you feel like you could hop off those right toes. And then step the left foot forward. Come up into crescent lunge, pause. Again, harness that energy, the front to back, all the way around. Like if someone were to come in and get you, you want to harness that core. Good. And then you know what we're doing? We're swinging that right leg. Kick it, bring it back. Kick it, bring it back. Really try to squeeze that left glute. So if you need to poke it with that left hand to help you extend that hip, do it. Keep that head over the shoulders. Good, last one. Kick it forward and then slowly bring it behind you for warrior 3. Hands can be on the pelvis. They can be on the front and back. Tap your right glute, make sure it's working. You can stay here, or you have those 2 elevator slides. So hands on that left thigh, slide them down, keeping that left knee bent towards your left ankle. And then slide it back up. Here we go, last one, slide it down, feel it out. Hands come to the floor. Tuck your right thigh behind the left as you turn to the left and come down to seated. Oh, this feels heavenly. You can kick out that right leg. And this is where you make your own free flow. Inhales up and exhales, other down. Let your head come along for the ride. Good. And towards the right. Turn to the right. Step back into high plank. Lower to the floor. This time, adding on to those goalposts, when you come up, you're going to pull your elbows down and then bring them back up, and then we'll come down. So a little bit of a lat pull. So really use those glutes to help your low back here. On your inhale, go ahead and lift. Pull the elbows down, lift them back up, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Pull the elbows down, bring them back, exhale, lower. Good, maybe switch the breath here. So take a breath in, exhale, lift. pull the elbows down, bring them up, inhale, lower. And notice which one feels better for you. I like to inhale and lift. Pull them down. Bring them up. Exhale. Good. You got 2 more. Last one. Lower and bring the elbows in underneath the shoulders. Lift up into forearm plank. Hip swivels left and right. Ooh. Good, and then bring it into normal. Walk those toes in. Dolphin. And then come up onto the hands for down dog. And slowly walk your hands towards your feet or feet towards hands. Whatever feels best for you. And come on up. Shake it out. Okay. Last bit, little bit of free flow. So we'll do a Sun Sal B into a Warrior 2. And I just want to show you it here, but we'll go through it. So you'll do a Warrior 2. You'll do a side plank. You can do a chaturanga here into down dog, and then you'll step and you'll do Warrior 2 on the other side. And then you'll do side plank. You'll do an optional chaturanga into down dog. So we're switching between Warrior 2s on each side, and you'll do it 3 times, 2 times each side, just to get the heart rate up, and then we'll finish class. So top of the mat, inhale, chair pose. So you sit back in the hips, arms reach forward. Take a moment, pause here. Let's be here for 5 breaths. And if having your arms out in front of you is a lot, you can keep them on the thighs and just focus on drawing the shoulders together. 4. Last one in. Exhale, slowly bring them to the floor. 5. Inhale, step or jump back into high plank. You can lower chaturanga or meet me in down dog. Breathe in. Exhale from your down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg. Take a breath in. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Open up to the right for Warrior 2. Take a breath in. Drop your right arm down the right leg. Reverse your Warrior. Inhale, come up. Exhale, right arm comes down. Right hand, side plank. Good. Left hand comes down. You can do a chaturanga here. Move into up dog. And then into down dog. Or you can bypass that option. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, open up into Warrior 2 on your right leg. Reverse. Inhale up. Exhale, left hand comes down, side plank on the left side. Right arm reaches up. Good, right hand comes down. Lower or lift the hips into down dog. One more time each side. This time I'm going to encourage you to hop off those right toes. So you can hop off. You can switch. Left foot comes forward. No matter who you are, reverse your Warrior. Inhale up. Right hand comes down, side plank. Ooh. Hand comes down, chaturanga, or lift the hips up into down dog. This time the right leg lifts. You can do a few hops off the left foot. Either way, right foot steps forward. Oh. This is your first time. Don't worry about the hops. They take a while to get used to. Left side plank. And this time we'll lower all the way to the floor. Bring your hands in front of you. Rest your forehead on top of them. Bend your knees and just allow your shins to windshield wiper. Allow your windshield wiper to windshield back and forth. That doesn't make sense. Finding some gapping here. Good. And let's combine this all into a little bit of a mini flow. So push the ground away as you lift up and back into down dog. Go ahead and slowly walk the feet forward towards the hands. Inhale, come up to stand, arms reach up. Exhale, sit back in the hips. Go ahead and step the left foot back. Slide the left hand underneath the left shoulder. You can also put a block underneath the left hand. Inhale, right arm reaches up. From here, circle that right arm 3 times. 1, 2, maybe as you reach the arm up, you straighten the leg, and then as you reach it forward, you bend the knee. So it becomes a little bit of a tick-tock. Last one. And then as you bring the arm forward, you turn to the left, side lunges. So side lunging left and right. Maybe the arms are the goalpost at this time. From here, bend the right knee. Left hand comes to the right thigh and just open your heart up to the right. Maybe resist your hand into that thigh to help draw in the low belly even more. And then turn to the right, hands land, step back into down dog. And the right leg lifts, bend the right knee. Circle in the hips 3 times one way. 3 times the other way. And then step that right foot forward and come up and pull the left knee in. Whew. Step back into crescent lunge. And then start to swing away. So you can use your hands this time, or you can keep the hands on the hips. Try not to kick my table. 2 and 1. This time hold the knee in. And you're going to transition into half moon from here. So slowly start to bend that right knee, open your heart up to the left. And maybe you bring your right hand down to a block or the floor. I'm opening my hips up to the left. Your right hand should be about right under your right shoulder, so you shouldn't be reaching too far in front of you. Most of your weight should be in that right foot. And then lower the left foot, warrior 2. And your warrior 2, we didn't get time to pause here, but we will. Feel like your feet are pushing your mat this way apart. Reverse your warrior. Inhale. And variation. Right elbow to right thigh, left arm reaches up and over. And then look towards the floor. Cartwheel the hands down. Step your left foot forward. Use the glutes, come all the way up. Reach the arms up. Exhale, hands come down. Step the right foot back. Right hand slides in line with that left foot underneath the shoulder. And inhale, as you spring this left arm back, you can straighten the left leg. And exhale, sweep the arm forward. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Only if your back doesn't round though. Last one. And then turn to the right for side lunges. I'll turn to face you, feet are parallel. Arms can stay goal posted. Or remember, feed the femurs back into the hip sockets. This can be a lot of reason why low back pain develops is because you start moving from your back instead of your hips. Just a fun fact. Good. Last one, side lunge to the left. Bring the right hand to the left thigh. Twist to the left. Really push in to this right hand to help you find lift and more twist and extension. And then from here, cartwheel the hands down towards the front of the mat, towards the left. Step back into down dog with the left leg lifted. Bend your left knee, circle in the hip. Draw in that low belly. And then go ahead, go the other direction. Remember that low belly is helping support your low back. And then go ahead and step that left foot forward. Come up into standing with the right knee in towards your chest. Use your hands. And then step it back to crescent lunge. And swing. If extending the leg is too much, bring the knee in. That helps prevent any pulling on your low back. Whew. Last one, pull the right knee in, and then you're slowly opening to the right for half moon. Keep that left knee bent. Extend the right leg behind you. Left hand comes underneath the left shoulder. You can even be on your fingertips. Yeah, that looks great, Angela. Good job, Maria. Keep that right glute engaged to help you open the hips up to the right even more. And then warrior two. Reverse, drop the right arm down the right leg. Remember, feel like your feet are pushing apart. Inhale. Elbow to thigh. Right arm reaches. Good. And then look down towards that left foot. Bring your hands down. Bring your knees down. And just wag your tail. You did it. Good. I'm gonna come back into frame a little bit. So from here, the right arm is going to sweep up towards the right. And exhale, thread underneath of you for, I can't think of, thread the needle pose right now. And if you cannot come down all the way, please know that you are more than welcome to bring your head onto a pillow. And then you can walk your left fingertips forward to noon. This does not feel good. Listen to your body here. Can you fill it with more air? Maybe you bring your left knee closer to your right. Maybe you tuck your chin under a little bit more. Go ahead and separate your knees. Left hand comes underneath the left shoulder. Push yourself back up to quadruped. And let's do the other side. Inhale, left arm reaches. Exhale, thread it under. Ooh. Right fingers can walk forward to noon on the clock. Tuck your chin under. And just notice here. Maybe you bring the right knee closer to the left. Feel how all of this is connected. Your axial spine is what connects our upper limbs to our lower limbs, which is why having a strong core is so important to propel us forward into life. Separate the right leg from the left. Bring the right hand under. Go ahead and swing your legs around as you come onto the back. And it is also why I believe, and also my teacher believes, posture matters. Go ahead and bring your knees into the chest. Bring your hands to your knees. Find your sacrum on the floor and just gently draw circles on the outer perimeter of it. So you're just kind of massaging your back in one direction. And then go ahead and go in the other direction. And then go ahead and place the feet flat on the floor. You can walk them to the outer edges of the mat and allow the knees to fall inwards with a slight uplift of your tailbone away from the floor. Palms can be face up away from the body. Or if you prefer to extend the legs out for Shavasana, you are more than welcome to. Feel the tongue relax from the roof of the mouth to relax the jaw. Feel the facial muscles relax. And just know that this is your moment. How you breathe is how you breathe. And then when you choose to change your breath, that's also allowed. You're also allowed to choose what you want to do for the rest of the day. And it can change from moment to moment, which is why I say free flow. You get to decide what you want your body to do. If you want it to be stronger, if you want it to be more flexible, maybe that's the reason why you showed up today. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, turning the head left and right. Go ahead and slide your left foot underneath the left knee, right foot underneath the right. Reach your hands up above your heart, interlacing them. Let's go ahead and as we punch the fist upwards, lift the hips and reach the fist overhead, and notice if this feels different than the beginning of class. Do you have a little bit more space? And then lower the upper back, middle back, and lower back. And I'm noticing it feels way better. Go ahead, bring your knees into the chest, sweep your hands around to grab the shins, and then in your own way, come on up to seated. Hands come to heart center, lightly pressing the palms in towards each other, recognizing the strength and grace that is within you to show up for yourself. Thank you for showing up with me and for also you. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Namaste. Thank you. If you enjoyed this class, please